Hi, I'm Stephen Milstein, one of the owners and the attorney here at Certified Title. Thanks for joining us today. Today, I have with me Jason Perlow, one of the premier real estate agents here in Baltimore County area, Maryland. Jason, you are the team lead for the Perlow home team at Monument Sotheby's International
Correct.
Realty. You've closed over 50 transactions in the last year. That's insane.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're just one of the top agents. And so I'm super excited to get some information to be able to share with folks listening to these videos. Let's jump right into it. Couple of questions. I know you do a lot of listings. So from the seller's perspective, let's answer a few questions. If I'm a seller today, what are some of the key tips when I'm either getting ready to list my house, when it's time to list my house? What's critical to make sure that house sells?
So the number one element is prepping your house accordingly so it presents in its best light when you hit market.
Okay.
Houses typically sit when a seller does not prepare the house accordingly. If you don't declutter, if you don't neutralize, if you don't make the necessary cosmetic repairs. And this doesn't mean a full gut job like you see on HGTV and a lot of these TV shows, that air. We don't want to break the bank for the sellers, but we want to advise them to make the necessary upgrades where there's definitely a return they can make, but also nobody wants their house to sit 30, 60, 90 plus days. So that is the number one element.
So like if you had some really, crazy paint colors or some awful carpet, would you tell people to replace carpet wallpaper, things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And a lot of times what we do is, when we meet with the seller the first time, they'll say, this is what I'm working with in terms of a budget. So sometimes we'll get our painter in, our contractor, flooring company, and we say, okay, everything's going to be $15,000, but some sellers say, look, I can only spend 10. So we'll sit with them and go over and advise what we think is best.
So I know this is probably close to an impossible question to answer, but like my house is almost 30 years old. We've done some minor updates, but for a typical house like mine, if I just wanted to make one upgrade, like what would be the one that a seller would most likely get their money back for?
Most likely neutralizing with paint.
Okay.
Unless your house had been painted recently. Next would probably be flooring after that in terms of carpet. A lot of times when somebody has hardwood that's 20 or 30 years old, pets have beat it up, kids have stained it and everything. So sometimes we'll recommend refinishing the hardwoods rather than completely replacing.
I saw somebody made a recommendation I thought it was interesting. They said to regrout the tile in your bathroom if it's disgusting.
We advise that.
I thought that could be an interesting one. So, okay, well, this is great information. If you're a seller, I think you just learned some great tips. And Jason, just tell everyone listening, if they wanted to contact you to be their real estate agent, how would they get a hold of you?
So cell phone or email. My cell is 410-456-3370. And my best email is jperlow@perlowhometeam.com.